So at this point, through the workshop, you've identified your roles, you've built your goals, and you've identified the plan to achieve the goals. And now the rest is up to you. But I think it's important to call out some things that will be common obstacles to you in the goal setting process. So by the end of this lesson, we will identify and call out the biggest obstacles to the goal setting. So the first is there's not even a close second, but it's fear. Fear is going to be your number one enemy in this process, in this workshop. And goal setting is putting yourself out there, even just to yourself. Even if you only keep this to you, it's going to be something that you're putting out there because you're identifying something that you want to achieve. And sometimes that can be just very transparent, and it can be very intimate for people. You can feel naked doing it. And I want to encourage you got to face that fear and get through it, because you're only going to continue to have the problems you have in your life or the things that you necessarily don't want if you don't take and challenge yourself by getting out there and getting in front of it. So fear is going to be the thing that cripples you from trying to achieve any of your goals, even setting them. Fear of criticism is a common one that I see when I've run these sessions. People are worried that they'll be criticized, they'll be exposed for something, they'll be made fun of for what's important to them. Try to do the best you can to block that out. You don't have to share this with anybody. Then the only criticism is between your ears. So don't feel like you have to go share this with everybody. Do what you need to do to get used to setting goals. It will build confidence and allow you to start feeling confident enough to have a shield and thick skin to block the criticism that you think is going to happen, which I promise is another one of those things that's just a fear. Most of the time it doesn't happen. You put these goals out there, and most times people cheer you on rather than criticize you. Fear of failure is a normal one. You're worried that if you put this out there and then you don't achieve the goal, people are going to think less of you for some reason. They're going to be like, oh yeah, there's the person that tried to do the thing. Don't worry about them. You're just trying to say, I'm going to try to accomplish this. I'm going to build a plan, and then I'm going to try to accomplish this. And if I don't, failure's not the enemy. Falling off the horse isn't what caused the failure. Not getting back on the horse is the true failure. So if you fail in setting your goals and you get back on the horse and succeed, did you fail? Or was it just delayed success? I would think of it that way. A weird one, you're going to see, when you see it on the screen, you're say, fear of success sounds weird, but it's common. A lot of times people get stuck in a vision of themselves. They think, I've got this identity. This is me. And if they achieve something, then all of a sudden there's this expectation, whether it's from them or by others, that, well, if I knew you could have achieved that, I would have expected so much more out of you. And they're worried that that will be the new thing. I'm very comfortable in the space I'm in now, and if I start achieving things, people are going to want more of me. True, but this is about wanting more for yourself. So don't worry about others here. You need to worry about what you want to achieve. You can always go back next year and set new goals, and again, set them for what you want. If other people want things from you, that's up to you to decide to give it to them or not. So don't feel that fear of success mandates more out of you. It only mandates more of you when you've got the confidence to know that you can achieve more. Now, do you want to achieve more? This gets back to the what, why, how. Maybe you want to achieve more and you have to ask yourself, why do I want that? And you might have a good reason, or you might not. And if you don't, you can always aim differently. I've actually had people that I've coached in my career that I've said, hey, this year we're going to take the year off so that you don't burn out. It's not always about more. Sometimes it's about looking at where you're at and saying, what's the best next move for me? And that's what I want for you out of this workshop. facing something you don't think you're ready to take on. This has to do with some of the relationships that are out there more times than not. It may have to do with family members, spouses. I mentioned in one of the early sections, I had a guy that worked for me who went through the goal setting, and on the personal side, he wrote down, get divorced. That ended up being a very positive thing for him and his wife for where they were at. But if you think about it, without the goal setting session, how many more years would they have just stuck their head in the sand, just getting by and being miserable? And sometimes you have to face that something that you just say, I don't want to face this anymore. And for them, that was the right thing. For somebody else, a divorce may be, hey, instead of getting divorced, we're going to really work on our marriage this year. There's no judgment on this side of the screen. The judgment's coming from your side. What do you want? What is best for you? So I understand the fear of facing something you don't want to face, but at some point, you got to face it or it's just going to continue to be a problem for you. So one of the other factors is going to be time. This consumes some time. Now, I will argue that if you do it well, it can actually save you time. But for those of you who find yourself doing like I did, where I mentioned that the very first time I did this workshop, I crumpled up the paper, put it in the drawer, and didn't look at it again for a year because it was, just too much time. I didn't need to be bothered with it. Well, there's a doctor out there. He's a brain doctor, Dr. Daniel Amen. You can look him up. He's got several books out there about brain scans. He's very well known. And one of the things he found out is normal brain scans are good indicators of people who have goal setting and goal achieving mindsets. It's just naturally occurring in a quote unquote more normal brain scan. And one of the things he wrote was this one-page miracle that says, if you think you don't have time to set goals, just follow this. Now, this is his copyright, so I'm not going to put a form together. You can go look this up in one of his books. He's got I've got it in the bibliography at the end. But if you go get that book, he's got this one-page miracle, or you can pause it and write this down for yourself. But this is all you have to fill in. Just one sentence. What do you want in your life, in your relationships with your spouse or significant other, your children, your extended family, your friends? Just fill in a short sentence for each of these. We all have time to do this one page. We all have the time. You can make the time to type this out and then answer it for yourself. If nothing else, start here. You'll be amazed in a year what has taken place if you will write this down. For whatever reason, writing things down locks it in your subconscious, and it will be burned in there to where as you're going through your time and your day, your regular occurrences of events, there are things that will trigger that are about these items, and you can add to this list if you want. And what will happen is these items will trigger in the back of your head to where you'll be like, oh yeah, I wanted to do that thing, even though you don't realize you're doing it. And you'll see improvements in these areas based on what do you want in these areas. You'll notice in a year that you've achieved progression in these areas based on what you wrote down. So if you think time's really, I took the workshop and this is just a lot. It's just a lot. Okay, then do this. At least start here. Because once you see the benefits of it and what it does for you in your life, you'll do more. It's very addictive in that fashion. So there's other obstacles. You don't know how to set goals. I hope I've helped you get through that. If you're struggling, email me, reach out direct, and I'll help you as best I can with it. Most of the time it has to do with wordsmithing your SMART or FAST goals to make sure that they work and they're understandable. Too much to think about. That was part of the fear factor of facing something you don't want to face, or it's just overwhelming because it's so much. Just do it step by step. One role at a time, one goal at a time, one success factor at a time. Don't make it bigger than it needs to be. I find that this is hard for people to be honest about, but sometimes there's people that are just at that point in their life where they lack an inner desire to want more. And if you do, ask yourself, are you okay with that? If you feel unfulfilled because you lack that inner desire, use this as an opportunity to incrementally improve. You don't have to go be a Nobel Prize winner overnight. Just take a moment to say, how can I be 1% better tomorrow of what you define as better? How can you do 1% better by your definition, 1% better tomorrow than you are today? And if you'll just take that attitude towards it, it may change your lack of inner desire over time, but it'll change. And lack of focus. If you have trouble focusing on all these different roles at once, it can be overwhelming to talk about 8 roles in your life at once or 10 roles in your life at once for those that get eager about it. It can be a lot. Take one role at a time, get really defined, do a deep dive on it, and then move to the next role. Get your goal, get your role defined, get your goal defined, get your success factors mapped out. Then move to the next goal and forget about that one for now. You've got it all written down, move on to the next one, and keep your focus there. Refusing to let go of goals, not right for you. This was a big one for me. I had goals that I thought were very, very important, roles specifically that I thought were very, very important, and they were very hard for me to let go. I put them on 3-4 years in a row going, this year's going to be the year I attack this role and make it happen because it's so important to me. Only to find out the next year it still wasn't taking a priority. It was taking a back seat. That should tell you something. That goal doesn't matter. That role doesn't matter to you. It just doesn't. And maybe that's a big deal. Maybe it's something you really want it to be. But if you're not willing to find a way to put the time into it, it's not going to ever matter. And for some people, like the gentleman I mentioned early on, he wasn't going to put in time with his spouse. They had just decided there was just too much damage there and they were going to move on. So you have to be willing to say, just because society wants you to put time in that area doesn't mean you want to. And if you don't want to, you got to let that go. You got to let the roles and the goals go that really don't matter to you. No matter how much you think other people think they matter or should matter to you. Does it matter to you? Unrealistic expectations. Having an expectation that you're going to be able to accomplish something that maybe is out of your reach. I'll give you a good example. As you age, there are certain things around youth that start impacting you, whether it's your health, whether it's your memory, whether it's certain things that you used to be able to do that now you can't. If you're a former athlete and you've aged up, you're not going to be able to do the things you used to do. And so making the comeback to do something is probably either harder or less likely to accomplish than you really think it is. Embrace it. Have realistic expectations about who you are. You've earned the right of your age. Embrace being that person and say, I'm going to be that, so how many ever years old you are, I'm going to be very much that years old, those many years old. If you're 60, be 60 years old and proud of it. Be very 60. If it has to do with this year is going to be the year that I lose all that weight. Well, maybe you need to lose that weight over 2 years or 3 years and make it more realistic. So have realistic expectations about what it is you're trying to accomplish. Really look in the mirror and say, can I get there? Don't be a dream killer about it. That's the next one. Don't be surrounded by dream killers. Don't be surrounded by the people who are going to criticize your goals and tell you why you can't get them done. Sometimes they think they're doing it lovingly, but a lot of times they don't realize that they're hurting you. If you help them understand where you're coming from and they don't change their attitude, try to distance yourself from them. It just won't help you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish with them in your ear, telling you how you can't achieve these things. Struggling with new habits is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a problem. It's hard to do. And I've tried to set you up for success with all the tricks and tips and science that's out there around how to create these habits, create new habits, do these things that allow you to have those habits happen for you. You're still going to fall short on some of these new habits. It's just natural. After 20 years of doing this goal setting workshop, I still struggle with new habits all the time. I'm struggling with one right now where I'm trying to shift and do it at a different time of day in order to try to help myself with it. It happens. Keep working at it. Try to figure out a way. Get creative. If you try it for a certain amount of time, and if it doesn't work, shift it. It doesn't mean you have to wait the whole year and say, well, that didn't work, I'll try something else. If you're noticing after a month the new habit's really not taking effect the way you're trying to do it, maybe in a habit stack format, try a different strategy to try to move that habit into something else. The habits will matter. They'll make a big difference. And again, don't get frustrated if you miss a couple of times or if it's just not taking like you want. If you're starting to see success with, maybe you're supposed to do something 3 times a week, but you're only doing it once, that's not zero. You're getting some benefit. Try to figure out a way to extend that benefit to the 3 times a week you want. Don't just throw everything out going, well, it's not working, I'll just start over with a different habit stack or a different methodology to attack it. If it's sticking in any way, stick with it. So all these obstacles are very real. There are going to be things that are in your way to achieve success. Success is never easy. Most of you are going to set bars that are high and they're going to be hard to accomplish. That's okay. And if you don't accomplish them, that's not failure. That's just, I didn't succeed yet. And that's the way you should look at it. But you can the fear hurt or defeat you? If the answer is no, if it can't literally hurt you, you got to push through it. I heard something on a TV show that said, bravery is not the absence of fear. It's the having the fear and doing it anyway. So face your fear and push through and see what happens. And you'll be surprised that the worst case is not what's in the back of your head. The worst case is something usually very benign to you. It's just, it was complicated, it was anxiety ridden, it was a challenge, it was hard, but it's never something that typically is going to hurt you. You might run out of time, and that's okay. You'll get another shot at this again next year to set the goal and try to achieve it. And have a plan for if you achieve success early. So if you've got your role and you've set a goal for it, what do you want to have happen if you achieve that goal early? Let's say we talked about the healthy one, and let's say you wanted to lose 10 pounds by the end of the year, and you lose the 10 pounds by June. Now what do? Do you have another health goal to replace it? Or do you just coast and hope that you're still 10 pounds light by December? That'll be something you'll have to decide. I can't decide that for you. So in conclusion, you'll have many reasons to not complete this workshop. I'm sure you're going to invent some new ones I haven't even heard of on why you can't complete the workshop. But imagine what your world could be like if you did complete the workshop. And if you tracked your habits and you tracked your goals for the whole year, what could actually happen for you? That's what I wanted you to focus on. Focus on what would happen. What if? Just one time. Do it once, and I promise you, the results are very addictive.